Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. So if you saw my last Superman video, you know that our Superman character now has access to augments. I've been waiting forever to make this video. Basically, I was waiting for this very moment to be able to do that. So basically, I was able to start to get the augments at level 25 with my Superman character. I don't know if it is linked to the level or if it is linked to the mission that you play. Basically, I played the mission where you have to fight the evil Sinestro and the Sinestro Core, and that's after completing that mission, that's when I got the augments. So, is it triggered by the level of the character once I reach level 25? Is it triggered by once you reach a certain point in the game, a certain mission in the game? Not sure exactly, doesn't really matter. So, roughly around level 25, you should be able to get augments. If you guys have been an old timer, you remember that way back when we had exobits that we could craft to put in our gear and it would give us extra stats. They've replaced those exobits with something known as augments. There's origin augments and there's some adaptive augments. I will show both of them today, but I will explain the origin augments first, and then I'll have to load my multiverse character to show you the adaptive augments. Also, you can see the stats of the augments. The stats are very low at this point. Obviously, the augments started at rank 24. For dominating, it says controller or tank. For controller, you have all the dominance you need with your gear. Basically, your gear by default gives you all the dominance you really need if you are a controller. If you are a tank, domination would be a good stats to have. So you can see at this point, it gives 42 health, 71 powers, and 12 dominance. I meant dominance, not domination. Sorry, it's been a long day. Uh, if you are a controller, you're going to want to use the vital augments. If you are a healer, you're going to want to use the restoring augments. If you are a DPS that uses your powers to do damage, you are going to want to use the mighty augments. And if you are a DPS that uses precision damage, that uses your weapons to do damage, you are going to want to use the precision augments. In this case, I pretty much use it only as a DPS, but usually with my characters, what I do is that I'll take whatever stats I need for my role. In this case, it would be tank, and usually if I need to DPS, I'll DPS with tank gear, and in this case, with tank augments. So as you can see, as soon as you equip your first augment, you get a little feat. So let's equip our 4 augments. And you can switch anytime you like. It's very simple to switch one origin augment for the other. So don't worry about choosing the wrong augment when you equip it. You can unequip it and select any other augments easily enough. But in this case, we're going to go with our dominating augments. Then the next step would be to try to upgrade those augments. If you can, so if you go into your Fortify tab, so you can see here all the augments that I have. So if I want to upgrade, let's say my dominating and you can see here the equipped augments that I have. So my augments right now are rank 24. So let's see if we can increase that. So we have a whole bunch of ant metal we can use to try to upgrade our augments. So let's do that. The ant metal, usually I try not to use ant metal. I try to use some of the exobytes we get in the game. Ant metal, you can upgrade either your augments or your artifacts. Usually I save me the ant metal for artifacts, and I use exobytes to fortify the augments. For today, since we're looking at the augments, let's fortify our little augment here. So we click fortify. There's no chances of a failure, so you just upgrade your augments as much as you like. And also, we got a little box that says exobyte cache, so let's use that. So we got a little box once we were able to get our augments. So you can see we got a whole bunch of exobytes. There's a few ways to be able to get those exobytes. Sometimes there's missions that will give you some of those exobytes. When you salvage gear, you can get some exobytes. And so let's go back to our little tab where we can fortify. So again, if I go back to let's go to this one. So you can see the various exobytes that we can use to be able to upgrade our augments. So as I mentioned before, usually I use the exobytes for the augments, and I use ant metal for artifacts. And in this case, I've used it all for my augments. So again, let's go back here and let's use our little exobytes to be able to upgrade our augments. Let's try again. There we go. So I was able to upgrade some of my augments. It's something that it's going to be an ongoing process as the game goes by, as I keep on playing and playing the game. That's how I'm going to be able to upgrade my augments. And I mentioned about salvaging gear. Let's see if I can do it with this character. So you can get some augment salvaging gear. I'm not sure if I have any gear that. Oh, okay, I have some gear that I can salvage. So let's salvage everything we can. So you can see the various augments that I'm getting. You can also upgrade some of your augments. If you do have some exo materials, you could decide to upgrade your augments, and then they'll give you more experience. So let's upgrade this one, and let's upgrade this one. So as you saw, once I've upgraded my solid MK1 exobyte, then it gives me a pristine MK1 exobyte that I can still upgrade. So again, same process. So the MK1 exobyte gives a 74 experience. The pristine MK1 gives 89 experience. So it's not a big improvement, but any improvement is better than nothing. So you decide either you use it. It's pretty much the only thing we can use the exo material for. Actually, I'm probably a liar pants on fire. There might be some crafting we need the exobyte exo material for. Oh yeah, some colas. Oh yeah, colas require exo materials. So you decide either you use your exo materials to get a tiny bit of extra experience from your exobytes, or you decide to use your exo materials for something else. So again, if we go back into our Fortify tab, again, we cannot use exobytes, sadly, for artifacts. The exobytes are good only for augments. So let's upgrade this one. I'm not sure if, as you can see, there's four augments to upgrade. Should you upgrade only one augments until you reach the maximum, and then you upgrade the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, or should you upgrade them a little bit at a time each time? I have no idea. You decide what you prefer. Either you upgrade only the one until you maximize it, and then you upgrade the next one, or you could decide to spread it amongst your four augments. I haven't crunched the math, so I have no idea if one option is better than the other. But sadly, each increments don't increase the stats of your augments all that much. I will show you my multi-risk character. It'll make a bit more sense when you see it. So if we take a look at my multi-risk character, with my multi-risk character, you'll see that I have adaptive augments and then I have my origin augments. Adaptive augments basically come from the various DLCs. So like the vital metal resonator augments, these come from the Metal Part 1 DLC, and you can see I've upgraded them to the maximum. The maximum rank for augments is rank 23. For example, here we have the Vital Absorbicon module. That's the adaptive augments for Metal Part 2 DLC. And you can see as you upgrade it, you get various bonuses. You get, in this case, these are the Vital augments. It'll give me 3% extra vitalization and power in Metal Part 2 content. It gives a 2% critical power chance while in Metal Part 2 content, and one additional gear choice from bosses and Metal Part 2 tier 10 on duty mission for each rank of Wolf of Thanagar. In this case, 2 since I have both augments that are that are to the maximum. So each DLC will give you various different augments. I'll take a look at the vendors in just a minute to show you what I mean. And again, we have the origin augments. Here you can see that my vital augments are upgraded to the maximum that they can be. So at the very maximum, it gives 883 health, 2137 power, and 200 vitalization. Sadly, it required a lot of exobytes to be able to upgrade those augments, and in total, it gives 800 vitalization. It may seem like a lot, but sadly, at this level, I have like 11,000 vitalization, 11,500 and something. So 800 more or less. It's better than nothing, but for everything that was required to be able to upgrade those augments to the maximum, 200 vitalization is not that much. And seeing how I was able to upgrade to the maximum my vital augments, then I started upgrading my mighty augments for when I play as a DPS. So you can see I'm up at the rank 246 or 245. I'm about 10 ranks from the maximum. And you can see if at the rank 246, it's 758 health, 1559 powers, 550 might, and 697 weaponization rating. And you can see here the difference between 245 and 246. It's not a very big difference. So from one rank to the next, the difference isn't all that much, but it will take you a lot of experience to be able to upgrade your augments. That is where you will get some adaptive augments for your character. Basically, you get two augments. As soon as you reach your DLC, you get two augments. Usually, again, I'll take the vital augments, but you can purchase other augments for 10 source marks if you want to. Basically, if you really wanted to, you could get two vital augments for when you place a controller, and then two mighty augments for when you place a DPS, and then you could upgrade those augments. Sadly, those augments will be good mostly only in the Teen Titans DLC, and they will get obsolete pretty fast in the sense that once your character gets to a higher level, you don't really want to go back to your old augments. Let me show you what I mean. Like here, you can see my vital augments. They're at the maximum rank, and it gives 1008 health. But my new adaptive augments that come from Metal Part 2 DLC gives 1159 health. So sadly, your the newest augments from the newest DLC will pretty much make your old augments obsolete, at least in terms of stats. But if somehow you decided that you still want to be able to get, let's say, extra gear from defeating bosses in Middle Part 1, then you can decide to switch for your other augments. Again, there's no cost in switching augments, so you can switch augments anywhere you like, at any time you like. It's easy enough. You just switch them. So if you're going, let's say, into Middle Part 1 DLC and you want to get one additional gear choice from bosses in Middle Part 1, then you would switch your augments. Obviously, you're going to get a tiny bit less stats, but you will get 3% extra vitalization and power. So you decide if the trade-off is worth it. Like in the case here of this augment, when you play Middle Part 1 missions, you do have a chance to get a Dark Robin that will be summoned and that will help you in battle. So if you look at the Teen Titans vendor, you will get the Teen Titans augment that will give you extra stats and extra abilities and the Teen Titans DLC content. If you look at the Atlantis vendor, you will also get augments, but in this case, you will get augments for the Atlantis DLC. So again, you can see these are augments from the Atlantis vendor, and it will give you extra stats or in the Atlantis DLC missions. So you'll get like a Atlantean Shark Resistance, a Beastly Shield. You'll get extra gear choices in normal and elite raid content. Higher chance to get rare gear in Atlantis normal and elite content. So there's a few reasons why you might want to keep on using older augments if you want to be able to have more gear choices options. And at some point, you will have some levels where you're gonna have to break through. So here you have the various components you need to be able to break through with your augments. The various catalysts that you need to be able to break through with your augments. You can purchase those catalysts from the various vendors, or you can also purchase them, from the marketplace if you want to. Like you can see right now, the Blackout Construct, the Nano Alfred Particles, and these are augments for the Middle Part 2 DLC. But you have basically the augments for all the DLC. And do not be confused. There's a catalyst for augments, and there is catalyst for artifacts. These are not the same. If you get catalyst for artifacts, you will not be able to use them for your augments, and vice versa. If you get catalyst for your augments, you cannot use those for your artifacts. So if we take a look, let's say at the middle part, at the Justice League Dark vendor, again you will see the various augments for the Justice League Dark vendor for the Justice League Dark DLC. Oh, I'm so sad. So if you look at the Justice League Dark vendor, sadly this vendor does not have the augments. You have to go into the Justice League Dark map, the Chaos Gotham map, to be able to get the vendor that do sell the augments. So in the case of the Justice League Dark DLC, you have to go to the Chaos Gotham map. So basically, you need the required level to be able to do so, and you have to go see the vendor over here, and he's the one who has the various augments. So you can see the various augments for the Justice League Dark DLC. I could have sworn he had the catalyst. I guess not. So right now those augments cost 10 demo Adrians. Again, as soon as you reach and if you'll notice also there's not the vitalization augments here. The reason for that is you cannot have more than 2 of each augments. I already have the 2 vitalization augments with my multiverse character, so I can no longer purchase any more vitalization augments. But I could purchase the the dominance augments, the might, the precision, or the restoration augments. So you can see I have the Vital Dark Phylactery. So these are augments that will give me a bunch of bonuses in the Justice League Dark DLC. But again, you can see that compared to the augments from the Metal Part 2 DLC, there's quite a difference in the stats that you get from those augments. But again, depending on the bonuses you want, you decide which one. If you want more stats, you'll use the augments that give you more stats. But if you want to get extra gear choices in the Justice League Dark missions, then you'll use the Justice League Dark augments. Again, you decide. So if we look at the Metal Part 1 vendor, again, you will see that the little guy is not selling the augments. You have to go into the Middle Gotham City map to be able to get the augments. So again, once you reach the combat rating to be able to play the DLC, you will automatically get 2 augments. But you have to get if you want to be able to get more augments, you have to come see our little friend, the Detective Greg's. And here you can see you can get more augments from that character. I'm not sure why we don't seem to be able to purchase Catalyst from her. But you'll get Catalyst from playing the various Metal Part 1 missions. And if you really have to, you could try to get Catalyst from the marketplace. Although I would strongly suggest to get them from the broker. It might be a bit pricey money-wise, but I'd rather spend fake money than real money. But you decide. And last but not least, as I'm making this video, the last DLC that gives you augments is the Metal Part 2 DLC. Again, sadly, you cannot get the augments from our other friend here. You are going to have to go into the Thanagar map to be able to get your augments. So if you go on the map and you go see the Green Lantern Supplier, he's the one you're going to be able to purchase additional augments from. Again, you get 2 augments. As soon as you reach the required level for the DLC, you get your first 2 augments. If you want to have more, you have to purchase them. Also, you have to be combat rating 276 to be able to purchase those augments. Uh, Guys will also ask, basically right now everyone has access to this map. Doesn't matter what level you are. As soon as you reach, I think, level 10, you do gain access to this map. Sadly, if you are only level 10, you're not really combat rating 276. Your character has to literally be combat rating 276 to be able to purchase from the Green Lantern Supplier. If you are level 10 and the game raises your combat rating to 276, you will not be able to purchase from this vendor. So if you come to this vendor with a level 10 character and you cannot purchase the augments or even the gear, that's because you have to be combat rating 276 to be able to purchase from this vendor. So as I mentioned, at some point you will have to break through at various levels with your augments. Not unlike how we have to break through with artifacts. Again, you might have to use a seal of completion or seal of preservations if you don't want to use your catalyst. And again, you can get some catalyst from the marketplace for your augments. So you can get various catalysts from the marketplace. And you can get also some perfected exobytes mega packs that will give you experience XP for your augments only. Like the perfection exobyte mega pack is only for the augments. You will not be able to use it for artifacts. Again, augments and artifacts require various components to be able to upgrade them. So just make sure not to mistake one for the other. So you can also get augments from the broker if you want to. You can see the Fortify augment. There's a tab for catalyst and a tab for seals. Eons ago, we were able to sell seals on the broker. They've removed that option, so but they didn't remove the tab for the seals just yet. So technically, there's only the catalyst that you can get. You can try purchasing them from the broker. Let's put it price ascending. So you can see you can get some blackout construct residue for about 700,000. You could try to shop around and try to find a stack that it could be cheaper. I guess not. So I thought if you could see a stack, let's say there was a stack that would sell five of them for like 1 million, I would tell you to buy the stack. But in this case, 700,000 seems to be the best price right now. So you are going to have to purchase a whole bunch of blackout construct residue to be able to upgrade your augment to the maximum level. Here you can see the nano Alfred particles are about 450,000 each. You could get a stack for 3 millions. You would have to do the math to see if it's cheaper to buy 11 of them at a time. You're going to need a whole bunch of them. I didn't do the math, but you're going to need a whole bunch of nano Alfred particles, especially if you want to be able to upgrade both your augments. And for the drown's dead water, it's about 187, well, 200,000 each. Again, you could get a stack of six for 900,000. So you decide if you want to purchase a stack or not. Again, you'll need more than just a few to be able to upgrade your augments to the max, and you have two augments to upgrade. So you decide. So either you spend this Universe Online money to be able to purchase your catalyst for your augments on the broker, or you purchase actual money to get your augments, your catalyst for your augments in the marketplace. But if you're lucky, you should be able to get some of those catalysts playing the various Metal Part 2 missions. But if you're lucky, you should be able to get some of those catalysts playing some Metal Part 2 missions in the Metal Part 2 DLC. I will probably make a follow-up video to show you how to break through with your adaptive augments. Uh, Basically, I'm gonna have to wait for the Birds of Prey DLC. When we get the Birds of Prey DLC, once I reach a point where I need to break through with my adaptive augments, then I will show you how to do it. But basically, as you start, early on, your augments are not very powerful, but as you upgrade them, it should increase the strength of your character at least a little bit. Again, the augments have been added to DC Universe Online to replace exhibits eons ago. In case you guys are interested and didn't know that, you can see there's white mods that you can put in some of your gear, but there was also colored mods that you could put, exobyte mods that you had to craft. So you had to craft your exobyte mods, and then you could put your exobyte mods into your gear, and that would give you extra stats. The drawback from that is that whenever you would upgrade your gear, you would lose your exobyte mods, and you would have to craft some new ones and put some new exhibit mods into your new gear. There were points in the game where you would upgrade your gear very, very quickly. When there was a new DLC, you could change your gear once, two, three times within just a few days, and that meant a lot of exobytes if you wanted to upgrade your exobytes every time. So it was a bit of a pain in the butt. So usually what people would do is that once we would get, let's say, a new DLC, they would put some low-level exobytes in their gear, and only once they got the top gear in the DLC, then they would upgrade their exobytes to the maximum exobytes we could get at the time. So it was a bit of a pain in the butt whenever we would change gear. So it's been replaced with the augments instead. So again, we have the origin augments and we have the adaptive augments. So again, I will make a follow-up video about the adaptive augments once I have to upgrade them, and even better once I have to break through with adaptive augments. So that's gonna have to wait for the Birds of Prey DLC, which should be out in roughly a month as I'm recording this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. I made roughly 2,000 videos about this universe online at this point, so if I don't answer your question right away, just search in my videos. Odds are I've already made a video that answers your questions. And that's pretty much it for now, guys. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.